Toastmaster Saiju, all yours.
Respected District 20 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abba, Pro Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Mona Alakub, Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Yasser Alkas, Event Chair, Distinguished Toastmaster Sudharagu, Organizing Committee members, fellow Toastmasters, and mass Speechcraft participants. Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to District 20 first ever mass Speechcraft. I am Toastmaster Sam, a member of Toastmasters IT professional, your chief surgeon at arms for this wonderful session. Ladies and gentlemen, to complete this session successfully, we have some ground rules. To avoid background noise, the moderator will mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Refrain from movements while the camera is on during the session. Zoom chat options are restricted to hosts and co-hosts. If you need to communicate with the organizing committee, please use WhatsApp. During the presentations, the chat option is restricted to moderator. For applause, please use hand gestures or emoji icons. Now, let's remind ourselves of the core values of Toastmasters International: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, with those core values, let us proceed with the program. To open the session, we have a dynamic Toastmaster as the event chair here. She's a Toastmaster since 2018, member of 2 clubs, current District 20 Club Return for President of Palakkad Toastmasters Club. She has a proven track record of success in the field of coaching, men, and leadership. A finance professional and an investment consultant. Please put your hands to District Toastmaster Sunita Raghu to call the session to order and welcome the audience. Ma'am, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Saiju Sam, for this introducing me to the audience. District 20 officials, presenters, fellow Toastmasters, and Speechcraft participants. A pleasant good evening to one and all. I, Sunita Raghu, welcome you all and hereby call District 20 Mass Speechcraft Session 3 to order. Let me tell you one thing. Before venturing into something new, what do we fear the most? Can any one of you tell me in our life why we delay things, doing things?
Probably because the fear of failure.
Exactly. Fear of failure and fear of being judged, being criticized for whatever we do, either by family, friends, colleagues, or society. Being watched or being judged by others really stop us from trying something new or anything differently. How to overcome this and how to relax ourselves? We try different method, but Toastmasters has a solution for it. We do it differently. Here, you get constructive evaluation and feedback for not only the speech you deliver, but whatever the task you do in Toastmasters. So here you have a rows of mentors and advisors or coaches. They'll help you to overcome your fear, to give a constructive evaluation, how to receive and give also. This is a very important leadership skills. We need to learn it. And believe me, once you master this skill, giving constructive evaluation and feedback, that is really going to help you in your house also, with your children, family, husband, or any other member in your family. Your overall personality will also change. And to relax your mind and to have a heart full of laugh, we have here our laughter yoga master also with us. So there are very good quality presentation and demo speech and evaluation clubbed with laughter. So, ready to know more about this evaluation and feedback and the laughter yoga? Let's quickly get on to our education session. To help us conduct this session 3, we have a dynamic Toastmaster here. He lives in Giza, Egypt, the land of pyramid. A civil engineer by profession and also a visiting faculty at Cairo University. He is a member of Giza Toastmasters Club and he enjoys his Toastmaster journey with that club. Please put your hands together to welcome talented Master of Ceremonies of our Session 3 Toastmaster, Sharif Akhar. Toastmaster Sharif, the virtual screen is yours.
Thank you, Event Chair, distinguished Toastmaster Sunita Raghu, for the wonderful introduction. I hope I deserve all this nice, kind words. Distinguished Division 20 dignitaries, Event Chair DTM Sunita Raghu, the organizing team, fellow Toastmasters, and invited guests. A very warm good evening. I welcome you all to the third session of this unique digital mass Speechcraft training session. It was none other than Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft and one of the richest men in the world, who said, "We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve." This mass Speechcraft is the unique initiative by District 20 to help everyone to enhance their communication skills and to develop it further. Having strong communication skills helps in every aspect of life, including problem solving and maintaining good relationships. Feedback is equally important to improve the communication further. Today, we have a very important presentation in which we will be learning about how to give feedback on any speech. To explain it more, we are also having a demo speech, and eventually we will have a demo evaluation by remarkable colleagues. Setting goals is the first step into turning the invisible into the visible. And that's what is the motive of this workshop. And the statement totally justifies the theme of the mass Speechcraft: seek, soar, succeed. Let's not delay and move on to our agenda. Let's begin the District 20 Mass Speechcraft's third session. I am Toastmaster Sharif Akhar, your Master of Ceremonies for the day, and it will be my honor. I want to start by saying time is money. Today, we have with us a meticulous timer who is going to keep a record of every second we all are going to spend today in this session. He is a member of 2 clubs, Bahrain HR Professionals and Vision Advanced. He was Area 16 Director in 2020-2021. He also served as Convention Ambassador for the 2014 Toastmaster International Convention at Kuala Lumpur, Master Trainer and Ambassador of Laughter Yoga, founder of Foodie Group, Bahrain Masala Dosa Meetup. Toastmaster K.M. Thomas. The timings to be followed has been communicated to the presenter and the speakers already. Accordingly, our meticulous timer will display the color cards. Now is the time to move ahead with today's educational session. Before we begin our session, I would like to inform you that there will be a presentation followed by 1 demo speech. This will be followed by a question and answer session. At the end, we will have a demo evaluation to showcase how speech evaluation is done. To have a smooth, uninterrupted session, all chats will be disabled. You can send your queries to the education team member, DTM Renouche, and they will be read out by her during the Q&A session. Also, please note that the attendance sheet will be shared in the chat box during the session. Please fill in the form. Your feedback will help us to improve. Let's start with the much-awaited presentation, evaluation, and feedback. To present, we have with us here a dynamic, distinguished Toastmaster, DTM Ahmed Shukri. He has been a Toastmaster since 2003, specializing in the fine art of speech evaluation and formal debating. The milestone of his journey in this field was winning the TTAC 2012 title for the speech evaluation category. The experience from this evaluation journey helped him coach many aspiring speakers to compete and win district level titles in various speech contest categories. Please join me to welcome DTM Ahmed Shokri with a big round of applause.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sharif. Before I start my presentation, let me add to your lovely introduction. For those people who are not familiar with my surname, it's a very famous Egyptian surname. So I spent most of my life being called, from what part of Egypt are you? From Cairo or Alexandria?
Yeah. Shokri is
I'm very proud to have a very Egyptian surname.
Yeah.
And I love this country. I love Egypt so throughout my life. And so I'm quite honored and happy to be here with you. Let me now go ahead and share my presentation, and my timing can start now in a few minutes. There we go. Right, fellow Toastmasters, welcome to the very tricky, challenging, yet rewarding world of speech evaluation. In a very famous book written by a world-famous best-selling writer, Malcolm Gladwell, he mentioned a rule, and that rule determines the number of hours required for a person to master a skill. Can I ask you to guess how many hours it requires somebody to practice before he or she can call himself a master of a skill or a hobby or a sport? Yes, Sharif?
10,000 hours.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. 10,000 hours of deliberate practice requires a person to become a master of a skill. Now, can you guess how many hours I had since 2003 joining Toastmasters in the art of evaluation? Don't worry, it's not an impressive number. It's a very humble number. It's only 4,000 hours. So you imagine 4,000 hours of deliberate practice. And it shows you how important practice is, and it shows you how fundamental evaluation is to any speech or any Toastmaster session. There are a few facts that I need to mention before going to my slides. Number one, in the Toastmasters format, there is no scholastic distinction between me and you. So I don't have any advantage over you in terms of a degree or a title. Whatever I tell you today is just a mere opinion or suggestion for you to take benefit from it or even leave it if you don't want. This is the uniqueness of the Toastmaster program. All of us here collaborate to get us better in speaking and leadership. Number two, evaluation is an important foundation of each meeting. Without it, you can't have a simple Toastmasters meeting. Number three, it can make or break your club or your club members, because a single bad evaluation can make your members run away and disappear from the next meeting. These three very important facts can determine the success of your next meeting and your champion speakers. With this in mind, let me share with you this very familiar cathedral. Those who are in love with architect know what kind of cathedral is this. An idea in chat box, or you can unmute and tell me. Let me see. This is, of course, the Sagrada Familia. No, it's not Notre Dame. Notre Dame is France, so this is more grander than Notre Dame. This is Sagrada Familia. It's in the heart of Barcelona, and it's still under construction. For 140 years, Antonio Gaudi, the famous architect from Barcelona, laid down the foundation of this cathedral. And until today, it's under construction. Imagine, 140 years. This is the same vibe you should put in mind when you try to become a master in evaluation. It is a very painful, long journey. You learn in every single step. With every single speech evaluation, you learn one bit more to become better and better and better. Right. You can guess by now, I'm a very big fan of architect. So this is another very famous structure. It's in the heart of Rome, and it is the famous Pantheon. The Pantheon has a very unique structure. In the middle of the Pantheon, there is a hole, a sky gap here. It's called the oculus. So in the terms of architecture, this is called an oculus. The small opening in the roof of a building is called the oculus. But what's more impressive than this is how the dome of the Pantheon is built. The Pantheon has the only and biggest unsupported curvature or dome in any structure. Because if you want to create a sphere or a curvature or a dome, you will need a lot of reinforced steel in the middle of your concrete. The Pantheon does not have any steel in the middle of this dome. Just like that, just like the Pantheon, your evaluation should have the 4 elements in front of you. Number 1, good foundation, good basis. Number 2, very strong pillars. Number 3, very, very keen attention to details. And of course, putting the icing on the top of your cake by finishing touches. These are the very 4 important foundations to your effective evaluation session. Let me dive more into what I mean by the good foundation of evaluation. The main problem with speech evaluations is the lack of time. Now, I don't know why Toastmasters brought 3.5 minutes, but I believe that 3.5 minutes are not enough to give effective evaluations. But there are the rules. We have to stick with the rules and make them work in our advantage. What makes evaluation so hard and so tricky? What is the main enemy of your evaluation? It is time. It is time. Time is the main enemy for an effective evaluation. So what happens typically in an evaluation session? We forget that you only have 3.5 minutes. So we spend almost 2 minutes engaged in what I call non-evaluative elements. Yesterday we had the Division B contest, and I was attending the contest, and I saw one of those non-evaluative speech elements. Things like creating a new speech. So Toastmasters, they forget their evaluators and they create a whole new speech instead of evaluating. Or they repeat the speech from A to Z. They create this deja vu effect, as if we haven't heard the speech already. They go and they explain the speech again and again. They also create a pre-prepared framework, as if we are in a table topic session. And they overemphasize on minor points, wasting valuable time until they see the amber light. And when they see the amber light, they panic. They want to squeeze in 2 general points of improvement. And when they see the red light, they suddenly finish the evaluation without even proper handover or summation. How many of you had the same experience in a recent evaluation session? Yes, it happens. And we see it. And we tell to ourselves, oh my God, only if we had more time, only if we didn't repeat the whole speech, only if we didn't waste valuable time creating a new speech. So these are the good the foundations of evaluation. We should understand them, work around them, and make the best management of our time. So in a good structure of evaluation, I look at one of the most strongest shapes in nature, and that's a triangle. So a triangle has a very strong shape. That's why the pyramids are built in a very triangular shape. If you look at the side, they will show you a triangle, and a triangle is a very strong foundational shape in nature. And just like that, a good evaluation has three important sides. First one is high-level comments on what went right in the speech. So instead of giving a whole repetition of a speech, you sparkle a few comments, a few highlights on what went well in the speech. Then the second pillar is giving specific points of improvements. And I say 2 to 3 specific points of improvement. And the third pillar is a good summation and a good handover to the Toastmaster of the day or the contest chair. These three elements are foundation in a good evaluation. Now, these pillars, these strong pillars that we have to look into, and you want to suggest an area for improvement, so, because your whole goal is to suggest an area, 2 or 3 areas of improvement. If you suggest an area of improvement, you have to be just like a good doctor. You have to specify with examples from the speech, and diagnose the area of improvement, and give your speaker a suggestion on how to improve upon it in the future. Just like a good MD or a good doctor, once you diagnose what needs improvement, you need to suggest the remedy or the medicine to improve it, and giving specific examples from the speech. These are strong pillars in how you give your speaker an improvement area for the future. Because remember, a speech is different than the speaker. The speech is something that happened in the past. So the person sat down, wrote the speech, practiced it. So the speech is something that happened in the past. The speaker is something that will be carried over for the future. That's why when you give your suggestion, an area of improvement, you're helping your speaker for the future speeches. And by this, I need to understand that what makes or breaks a good evaluator is identifying the differences between a speech and a speaker. So speech or the content, speaker or the delivery. So in my method of giving feedback or evaluating speakers, I always have this checklist between speech and speaker, as well as the interaction between speech and speaker. In the speech or in the content, I look for what was the powerful opening, or what we call the powerful hook. Was there a powerful hook that hooked the audience to your speech? Was there an anchoring story, like the main story of the speech? What about the foundational phrase? The foundational phrase is a repeated phrase that is sparkled all across the speech, so that the audience will remember the main goal of your speech. What about the central message? Was there a central message in that speech? What about the WIIFM? What's in it for me? Were there any take-home messages in the speech? Oh, what about the ending of your speech? Was the ending connected to your introduction? Was there a 180-degree connection between the introduction and the conclusion? So these are the points I look for when I go to the details of the evaluation in terms of content. Moving to the speaker, I look at the level of energy and stage presence, because speaker is all about delivery methods. Was the speaker full of enthusiasm and energy? What about the stage management? Did the speaker understand the positioning of the story? Was there distinctive parts of the stage that the speaker used? What about his characters or her characters? Were they built in a good way? Did we care about the characters? Did the speaker move with a purpose? The gestures, were they meaningful or just haphazard across the speech? What about the vocal variety, modulation, tone, volume, and speed? And what about showmanship? In Toastmasters, we're always given this comment that we are over dramatic in our delivery. Yes, we are, and for a purpose, because public speaking is a visual art. We need to have showmanship. And the last element of my details of evaluation, I look into the interaction between speech and speaker. Was there any you questions? Did the speaker involve the audience? The topic, was the topic interesting for the audience, close to the audience? What about the language used? Was the language simple, easy to follow? Any jargons were avoided? And what about emotions? Was there an appeal on emotions, sadness, happiness, anger, disgust, surprise? And what about visual aids? Were there any props used? And the last one, of course, what they call in French, je ne sais quoi, the X factor, something that I cannot point out. The 2014 world champion, Dhananjaya, had the same topic of his speech. I see something in you, but I don't know what it is. So this, I gave you now on this slide, my cheat sheet for the things I look for in my details of evaluation. These are the small elements I always put in my mind when I receive that paper evaluation and try to jot down the most important areas to give feedback to the speaker. In my finishing touches of my evaluation, I ask myself 7 very important questions. Do I do my evaluation impromptu or planned? You can't have a planned evaluation. If you have a planned evaluation, it won't sound right. It will sound robotic. It will sound ingenuine. It will sound artificial. And you can't be so impromptu in evaluation because you won't be deep enough. You have to be somewhere in the middle. You have to plan your time very well. Remember the 3 foundations of our evaluation. Number 1, giving very highlights on what went well in the speech. Number 2, giving 2 or 3 suggestions on how to improve upon it. And number 3, giving a proper summation and handover. We sometimes call this the sandwich method or the sugar-coated evaluation, or simply stated, tell them what went right, tell them what needs to improvement and how to improve it, and end by telling them summation and handing over with what went right again one more time. Number 2, do I address or do I ignore the speaker? A lot of evaluators, they ignore the speaker. They say things like, my test speaker or the test speaker. I'm not part of that type of evaluators. I like to involve my speaker. I like to say her or his name, because the best sound any person likes to hear is her own or his own name. Do I include or exclude the audience? Now, there is a method in acting called fly on the wall. Fly on the wall means that the audience are not involved in your evaluation. You need to involve them in your evaluation. So for example, if Sharif, for example, had an example of a speech that was not very effective, I would say, so Sharif, in your speech, your introduction was not very engaging. So you see, I'm addressing Sharif now. Then I move to the audience. So fellow Toastmasters, from this example, we learn that a hook is an important tool that we can use. So you see what I mean here? I'm including the speaker by saying his name, and I'm including the audience by giving a general point related to the point I gave to Sharif. Do we write essays or take notes? A lot of us write essays. Don't write essays on that piece of paper. Nobody will judge you on writing long evaluations on a piece of paper. Take very effective notes and highlights, and do not repeat or create new speeches. All you do here is to give feedback, give evaluations, not new speakers. Do I use but or no but? Many of the fellow Toastmasters who attended my workshop always highlighted this point. Thank you, Ahmed. You taught us something new. My mom always tells me, Ahmed, if somebody tells you but, then you will forget everything before the but, and you will remember everything after the but. So if I say Sharif is a handsome, knowledgeable person with a lovely smile, but he has short temper. Now, Sharif will remember short temper. So try your best to avoid the but. I know it's a very single, nice word. Let's try to avoid it. In my own personal opinion, to avoid the but, I use something like, for example, so when I say the highlights, this was a very motivating speech, has a nice introduction, body and conclusion. And my role as an evaluator will not be completed without giving a few suggestions. So you see, I had to do a long cycle to avoid the but. So many words to avoid, but use it. It's very, very beneficial. Do I speak or do I evaluate? Please don't speak. Don't steal the thunder from your speaker. You're here to evaluate, to give constructive feedback for the future of your speaker. Do I wash or do I bash? It depends if the speaker is brand new, sensitive, or you know that the speaker will run away if you bash. But generally, be kind and be gentle. Don't bash people around, because in the end, you want to build bridges, not burn down bridges. Unless the person is a long-term friend and you know him for a long number of years, you can bash the person if you want, but not in public. In public, let's start to show kindness more than showing critical evaluations. Thank you very much for that, for your attention. I do apologize. I had very bad flu for the past 2 days, so a little bit of my performance was affected by that flu, but I hope you got the gist of that method, and I wish you all the best in the demo and demonstration evaluation. Back to you, Master of Ceremony.
DTM Ahmed, if you had a flu, we really did not notice. It was watching a master doing his art. Thanks so much for this speech and lovely presentation. I learned a lot, and I'm sure everybody learned a lot. And I promise you, I will work on my temper. Now you are going to witness a demo speech. To present the demo speech, we have a very charismatic and charming Toastmaster. Engineer Amal Kamel is here. Toastmaster Amal is a civil engineer like myself and has been a member of Cairo Toastmasters Club for about 4 years. She had served in the ExCom as Vice President for Education and Vice President for Membership. Let's welcome Toastmaster Amal Kamel with her demo speech. The duration of this speech will be from 5 to 7 minutes. Her speech title is The Follower by Toastmaster Amal.
Who comes to your mind when I say the word leader? If you were in a real meeting physically, you would have said, I would have just heard those names like Martin Luther King, Gandhi. I'd heard names of people who are flashing in the news or shining in a history book. But when I was a child, around 10 years old, it was the first time that I've read a Shakespeare. And it was, fortunately or unfortunately, the tragedy of Julius Caesar. And since then, Julius Caesar became my imaginary friend. He was my childhood friend for almost 10 years until I joined college. And then I was like, this guy actually put his trust in wrong people. He got himself killed, actually, and then caused his nation to fall apart in civil war. This is not the kind of leader I want to be. No, he used to be my benchmark for leadership, and then he was shattered. He's no longer my friend anyway. Probably because I grew up, and I've learned a lot since then. And I'm going to tell you who I think of when the word leader comes to our minds. The people I think of is, actually I'm giving you two names, Ali Bahrawi and Muhammad Yunus. And I can almost hear you going, what? Who? What are you talking about, Amal? Are you kidding us? What are these names? We've never heard them. Maybe some people will Google them and I will save you the trouble. You will not find them. That's exactly why I'm going to talk about them, because no one knows them. I personally know them. Ali al-Bahrawi is a professor that I had in the University of Ain Shams when I was an engineering student. He's simply a professor of hydraulics. That's what he is. That's what he does, actually. But who he is a great leader who used humor, support, knowledge, and preparing his students to their careers, unlike most of other professors who just are here to put their marks. Let's see. You want to get a certificate, you will have to go through me. But Ali al-Bahrawi, Dr. Ali al-Bahrawi, he used to go like, you guys are here to learn. If you want to grasp the knowledge, you can be with me. And he and all the other students used to go out for their summer breaks, and we would just stick to him even in the summer breaks, trying to learn from him. That's how effective and influential this man was. And then I graduated on the year 2006. And that will take us to the next name, Ahmad Yunus. When I first graduated, I worked in an oil and gas company. And I was this junior civil engineer who just turned 21, and I have no idea what it means to be working. I only was a good student. I didn't know if I was going to be a good engineer. So let's see, I sat in his office and I was shaking. I was really, really scared when I first saw him. And then he came in, sat me down and said, welcome to the team. Don't worry about a thing. I will tell you everything about this project. You will not be needing anything else. And whatever you do, don't shy away from asking questions. There is no such a thing as a stupid question. I may give you some stupid answer, but you can never give me a stupid question. That's what he did. He gave me a great self-confidence, and he was like, tell you something else? Don't be scared to make mistakes. Make mistakes all you want. I'm the leader of this project. I will take the heat. I got your back 100%. I worked with this man, following him for about 5 years. And by the end, I got promoted at a very young age, and I became the youngest civil engineer in my department to be a project leader, because he really did prepare me to be a good leader. And I was able to lead projects for the next, 10 or 12 years now. And since then, everybody was like, all right, you're like his daughter, because he's like have his stamp on me. His footprint is right there. Dealing with me resembles working with him. So, and throughout these years from other departments, I've seen guys and girls, whoever followed a bureaucratic leader became a bureaucratic leader. Whoever followed him, a democratic leader became a democratic leader. Whoever had an authoritative leader, guess what? You guessed right. Yeah, he became an authoritative leader himself. So my point is, be careful who you follow, because the follower one day will become a leader. And the kind of leader that you are will resemble the leader that you followed. I heard a quote once that said, be the leader you want to follow, but I think it's before that, you should only follow the leader that you want to be. So I'll leave you with a question. Who do you want to follow? Thank you.
Toastmaster Amal, thanks for such a lovely speech. I was really hooked and engaged. Thank you so much. Now we proceed toward the question and answer round. DTM Ranush, I invite you, my friend, to read the questions you have received one by one. And let's welcome back DTM Ahmad Shukri. We will burden you once more and ask you to answer these questions, if you please.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sharif. Yes, we do have quite a good number of questions that have been popping up in the chat box. I've been busy looking at those, and I'm sure it will take away the flu and cold of our keynote speaker for sure. All right, distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Shukri, let me just check out the first question here. What would be the recommended number of points that the evaluator need to speak when it comes to high-level comments? I'll repeat, what would be the recommended number of points that one need to give when it comes to high-level comments?
Thank you very much, DT and Ranush. So the rule is quite simple. It's 3 plus 3. So 3 points of highlights, followed by 3 points of suggestions, if you manage your time very well. Usually, we don't have enough time to do 3 plus 3. So if you do 3 highlight points, before you see the green light, let the green light be your indicator. If you see your green light and you're still in your 3rd highlight point, it means that you are late. So the rule of thumb here, you finish your 3 highlight points as soon as you can and dive into your area of suggestions. Even in a evaluation speech contest, 40% of the mark is on the quality of your suggestions. So the main purpose of the evaluation is not giving the highlights of the speech, is more giving the suggestions to improve for the future. I usually try to achieve 3 suggestion points, but if I'm stuck with time, I try to dive into 2 points of suggestions. One is based on content, and the other is based on delivery. But definitely the 3 highlight points, it will be easier to remember because they're just like 1 to 3. You know, we always learn that the speech organization is 3 layers: intro, body, and conclusion. So in your mind, mentally, even your highlight should include something about the intro, something about the body, and something about the conclusion. It'd be easy to remember. So an intro, a point on an intro, a point on your main message or anchor story, and a point on your ending or the conclusion of the speech. So 3 plus 3, or in case you're run out of time, 3 plus 2.
Sure. Thank you so much. I think this pretty much answers the second part of the question, but then I'll just rephrase this question to you. The question was, there was a part where you mentioned about attention to detail, and there were 18 points which were mentioned in that particular section. So obviously, as you mentioned right now, to choose, let's say, the 3 out of that. The question that comes in here is, how does one judge which are those top 3 or the most important 3 points that one need to give feedback to or give an opinion to the speaker? And keeping in mind that every evaluator has their own differences, would the audience judge if the most common one is not mentioned?
Thank you very much for the question. Why I am giving you an idea of or a suggestion of 18 points to be like a cheat sheet or a reference point, because I don't want people to be squeezed in time and give very general checklist of points for improvement. I know that you had this experience before, all of us in the room. You see that the evaluator, because of the lack of time, mentions very general points, like I liked body language of the speech, I liked eye contact of the speech, I liked voice of the speaker. See, that general points, they're not giving us details, they're not diving enough to give the speaker enough benefits for the future. So to avoid these general points, be prepared or be familiar with at least a list of 18. It could be more than 18. It is based on my own experience. You could have more areas of suggestion, but have them handy. Let them be your toolbox that you can tap into and benefit from. In your mind, formalize your thinking that you have speech, speaker. In speech, there is hook, there is anchoring story, there's foundation phrase, there is transitions, there's conclusion, there is what's in it for me. In the back of your mind, you have these options to choose from. In the back of your mind, you know that there's energy and presence. You know that there is gesture and move with a purpose. You know that there is stage presence and stage allocation. So you may not use any of them. You may bring something out of the blue on the day and date of evaluation. But it's always good to be prepared at least with an inventory of tools than go blindly and depend on your gut feeling, and you bring something general and open. In my experience, in many division and district contests and evaluation, I use the Pareto principle 80-20. A lot of speakers, they dive into the same area of improvement. Yesterday, for example, on Division B, if you're attending, all the evaluators talked about how the speaker brought an acronym of ACE, ACE, all of them. So try to predict what will be the common point and think left field. You know what I mean? There's always what we call average Joe answer. If you're in the science of standardized testing, like famous tests like SATs, for example, or GMAT, if you're going into higher education, they have something called average Joe answer. So they design the multiple choice answers with this in mind. They try to trick the test takers to choose the average Joe answer. So even you as an evaluator, you know that your competitors will choose this as the main point. All of them will mention something so obvious. So clever evaluators know how to add their own touches, go into the left field, discover something nobody paid attention to, and add it as an additional point.
Thank you so much for that clarification. It does happen to me when I stand on the stage and I think of all the points, and I know I have only 2 minutes to get out those important ones. But thank you so much for that, Ace. The next question is, what is meant by 180-degree ending? And could you explain in brief about the X factor?
Right. So how many of you saw or witnessed the world champion of public speaking this year? Cyril Jr. So Cyril Jr., yes, Cyril Jr. If I tell me one thing about the speech, what would be that same thing about the speech? One word that you remember. It's the title, Indini. See how clever he is? The title is so small, it's not even an English word. Indini. It means, here I am, in his own language. So you see, when I say 180, I mean speech is so constructed so perfectly that every element is linked. So if you talk about, for example, if you want to give Amal, our target speaker, something, for example, and she talked about leadership styles, and her opening was about leadership styles, and she says, I'm going to mention 2 names, Ahmed Yunus and Ali Bahrawi. A perfect 180 in her speech should be, so now, fellow Toastmasters, I'm sure that you will remember Ali Bahrawi and Muhammad Yunus. So you see how you bring the 180 to your speech, you tie it in a nice bow, right? And je ne sais quoi, the X factor, to be honest with you, I even don't know it. I mean, that's why it's called the X factor, right? There's something likability about that person. I give you 2 examples, one from Bollywood and one from Egyptian movie, but I love Egyptian movie. So from Bollywood, there's a famous actor, his name is SRK, Shah Rukh Khan. There's something about SRK, see people are they're smiling because they know what I'm talking about. He has an X factor. When you see SRK, he's old now, but he still has this X factor when he goes into the stage. In Egyptian movies, you know, my dad was a big fan of Shukri Sarhan. So whenever I see him seeing Shukri Sarhan on the stage, he smiles, and I tell him, "Why are you smiling?" Because most of his scenes are serious. He says, "No, there's something about the way he dresses, the way he carries himself, something about the X factor. Something it's there. Something is there, but we don't know what it is exactly."
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think we are out of time. I do have a lot of questions still out here. I'll definitely have the organizing team arrange these questions to you, sir, and we'll get those questions answered and send it to the respective people who have asked us. The last one, how would they be able to reach you in case they would like to have a work arranged by yourself to their clubs? How could they reach out to you?
I have a small story about this point. This story is, I hope it will be very inspirational for all of you. So in 2012, I won the title of DTAC, and title of DTAC for most of you in this virtual room. We used to have in-person competitions. Yes, we booked hotel rooms with 200 people. Yeah, before Corona, it seems a long time ago. And District 20 back then was consisting of 7 countries, 350 attendants in the contest. In 2012, I got the title of the evaluation category. Then I stopped competing until 2017. That was my last year of evaluation contest. And in 2017, District 20 had the contest in Bahrain. So we had in one of the rooms, one of the hotels, we were there. And you know what happens in an evaluation speech contest? Something a little bit inhuman. They keep you in a holding room. They imprison you in a holding room, and you have to wait a long time for your time and your sequence of speaking to come and give your evaluation. So my bad luck, I was speaker number 7. So I have to wait at least half an hour for my fellow contestants to give a speech, and then my time will come. So I was locked in that room, waiting for 30 minutes for my time to come. You know what happens inside that holding room? A few amazing things happen. People start doing weird things. They run around the room back and forth. They talk to themselves. Everything becomes silent. When you hear whispering, people practicing their evaluation. On that day, I was thirsty. I didn't have enough water in the morning, and I was thirsty. So in the silence, people are practicing and doing their evaluation. I raised my voice and I say, excuse me. And believe it or not, I heard the loudest sound in my whole life. I was shushed in the middle of the room. I was so scared, I didn't call for water again. That moment was an eye-opener for me. I said to myself, is this why we are here? Is this why we are evaluators? To worry about ourselves and shush others so that we win a plastic trophy? I don't think that's the reason for people to be evaluators. A small room should not be our goal. Our goal should be a bigger room. All Toastmasters in the world, all clubs in the world. Our voice should help everyone in this movement. That was the moment I promised myself to stop competing and start helping others in the fine art of evaluation. So I'm open to any invitation to any club. You have my emails and my WhatsApp. I'm glad to help you in your speeches and your evaluation techniques.
Thank you so much, DTM Ahmed Shukri. And can we all give a big round of applause to our keynote speaker today? Well, thank you so much. I hand over the control to the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sherry. Over to you.
DTM Ahmed and DTM Ranoush, thank you so much for resolving as much queries as we could today. We really enjoyed the back and forth. It was really nice. It's time now to get the feedback on Toastmaster Amal's speech. Let's listen from our evaluator for today, Toastmaster Veronica Kazinath. Sparky, peppy, and scintillating youngster who always does her best in whatever she does. Division A champion 2021-22, Vice President for Public Relations 2021-22, and currently Vice President for membership of the C2A Toastmasters Club. Her hobbies are reading and listening to music. Let's welcome scintillating Toastmaster Veronica to give the evaluation on Toastmaster Amal's speech. Please note that the speech will be 2 to 3 minutes in duration.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, speech crafters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, and my target speaker in particular, Toastmaster Amel Kami. What an inspiring speech. You had demonstrated ownership and confidence in the speech you delivered today. The most splendid part of your speech was it had a clear beginning, middle, and end, which made it easy to follow. You started your speech with a question, and that is a terrific way to start because you captured my attention at that point itself. As I was listening to your speech, I felt that your voice was modulated smoothly and it was pleasant to listen to. Now, there are a few things that I loved about your speech. Firstly, the use of personal story, how you followed both the leaders and became a leader as well. I got a glimpse of who you are and I was able to connect with you better. And secondly, your body language. You brought your story to life, like how you followed those leaders and how you let them become role models in your life. You had a real range of gestures, and I could see your facial expressions when you were so nervous when you saw your first leader. And what I loved most of all of your speech was the value. You were having a grip on yourself, you were having a purpose, and these are the things everyone in this virtual platform can implement. So it is clear that my target speaker, Toastmaster Amel Kamil, knows her audience very well. Now, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. I have a few recommendations to take your speech to the next level. You could have shown more energy and enthusiasm when you described the different types of leaders. And you could have changed the speed of your voice so that it would have become a little more engaging and give maximum value and impact to the audience. So, for example, when you said, be careful of who you follow. So just try to change the modulation and the tone of your voice so becomes more effective and it engages the audience even. So overall, it was a speech with great organization, confidently delivered, and great connection with the audience. You are an eloquent, exuberant, and an euphoric speaker. You are full of energy, and thank you so much for enthralling us with your scintillating speech. After listening to your speech today, among others, I will be the first one looking forward to listening to your future speeches. So keep challenging me, and I'm looking forward to your wonderful speeches in the future. Thank you so much, and all the very best.
Toastmaster Veronica, thank you so much for a lovely feedback. That's how it's done. Thank you so much. Speech crafters, after this intense learning, you need to relax a bit. Are you all ready to laugh out loud? I know I am. We are proceeding towards a very interesting session, the laughter yoga session. Our dynamic laughter yoga master, who was supporting us as the timer in this evening, is here to conduct this session. I would like to invite back Toastmaster K.M. Thomas. Let's welcome Toastmaster K.M. Thomas.
Hello, hi, good evening, everyone. So glad to see all the laughter from, the Toastmasters family of District 20 for the mass Speechcraft. You don't need to be happy to laugh. When you laugh, you will be happy. I would like to say remind you that laughing is injurious to health. Do you agree? Yes. Yes, laughing is injurious to health. Suppose when you laugh out loud, your friend, your neighbor will check why this person is laughing. Maybe he got 100 discount from somewhere else. I have to find the reason why he is laughing. Then he will think and think and think, and he will not eat, he will not sleep, and it will become very dangerous to his health. So laughing is injurious to health. So dear friends, we could have a short laughter today And I request everyone, those who can, open your camera, show your beautiful face, and bring your beautiful laughter. So we all know the laughter is the best medicine, but if you are not happy, how you can laugh? So here we are doing with some exercise routine. We do some exercises. We will bring laughter with exercises. So first we will do breathing exercise, deep breathing exercises. In deep breathing, you all know that we will do inhale and exhale. And this is called tension release breathing. Usually Toastmasters have a lot of tensions. So when they are going to for a speech contest, to release the tensions, so we will do tension release breathing. The first tension release breathing is extend your hands. I request everyone to join it. Extend your hands straight. Hold all your tensions inside your hand. Hold it, hold it, hold it. When we do inhale, bring the hands close to your body. And when we exhale, open your hands. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, one more time. Inhale. Exhale. So next time when you exhale, you can bring a gentle laughter on your face. Extend your hands, hold all your tensions. I request everyone to unmute, then I can hear your laughing sound. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, one more time. Hold all your tensions inside your hand. Inhale. Exhale. Very good, fantastic. The next exercise is called pendulum breathing. Keep your hands like a pendulum on both hands on your left side, left or right, you can keep it. When you do inhale, bring the hands to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, next time when you exhale, bring a laughter. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. There's a connection between our body and the mind. What happens to body, what happens to mind? Suppose you are not in a good mood to laugh, you can bring some body movements. Soon your mind will follow. Let us go to next exercise. This is a famous laughter exercise. Is called milkshake laughter. Milkshake laughter. We are holding two imaginary glasses in our hand. Everyone, please hold your glass. And first we will put the milk to the other glass. Then back to the glass. Then we will drink with laughter. Okay, ready with your glasses? Ready with your glasses? We will put the milk to the other glass with the sound A. Okay, next time you serve the milk to your friends who is on your left and right. Check who is there on your left and right. Serve the milk to them and laugh. Okay, ready? Be with your glasses. Glass. Okay. In A. Now you give it to the other side. Okay, glasses. Ready with your glasses? A. See who is on your other side. A. Very good. Through laughter yoga, we are learning some value-based laughter exercise. Value-based laughter exercise. Suppose you are in some difficult situation, it will teach you how to be calm and cool and come across that situation. So suppose every month you will get a credit card bill, right? When you see the credit card bill, maybe you will get upset. This exercise will teach you next time when you see the credit card in your hand, how to be more happy. Maybe you will start laughing when you see the credit card. Take an imaginary credit card on your hand. There is an imaginary credit card. Show it to your friends over here. Show it to Mr. Sharif. Show it to DTM Brinosh and laugh. Show it to Toastmasters Anjali Gupta. Show your credit card. Show your credit card to Amal Kamal. See that Denise Gupta's card. See Dalia with the credit card. See Rinosh with more credit cards. But Farida by working in a bank, don't show the credit card. Very good, fantastic. So in laughter, we will do a childlike playfulness. The secret of laughter is playfulness. So we all do a childlike playfulness. In Toastmasters also, we can do this exercise. With the clapping, we'll say, very good, yay. Suppose you would like to appreciate your friends. We will do it together. Very good, yay. Very good, yay. Very good. Sometimes you do the very good. Sometimes you do the formatting of your laptop, formatting your mobile phone. Actually, you should format your brain once in a month or once in a 6 months. So how to format your brain? There is imaginary zip on your head. First, open the zip. A. Open your head. A. Take the brain out and keep it in your hand. A. And wash with the laughter. Hope everybody are done properly. Then we should keep it back. Okay, keep it back, your brain. Close your head. Close the zip. Very good, fantastic. So now your brain is formatted. So you can keep more things inside your brain. So we'll do one more laughter exercise that is called laugh at yourself. Laugh at yourself. That is the best beautiful laughter. Laugh at yourself. It is saying that best ego bursting laughter. So if you have egos, point the finger to your face. Suppose if you have more egos, choose both of your hands. If you have more egos, and show your face to your friends over here. Show your face to your friends and laugh. Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good. Yay! Very good. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Control back to Master of the Day, MC Sharif. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster K.M. Thomas. You certainly lightened the mood without making any jokes. That was like magic. I only regret that this session was recorded, so it will be there forever. Before I call the event chair for adjournment, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. It was an honor to serve as Master of Ceremonies. I would also like to ask all the members to switch on the cameras for a group photo to adjourn the session 3 of Division 20 Mass Speechcraft. Let me invite back our event chair, dynamic leader, TTM Sanita Raghu.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sharif. You really managed the session really well, and we are just 10 minutes past, but with a formatted brain, we have come back again with renewed energy and with more power. After listening to this very constructive evaluation, how to do the constructive evaluation, demo speech and the demo evaluation, and with the formatted brain also. I hope we all enjoyed a very good session. My sincere thanks to presenter DT Mahmoud Shukri, Laughter Guru KM Thomas, Toastmaster KM Thomas, demo speaker Amal, and demo evaluator Toastmaster Veronica. My sincere appreciation on behalf of my entire organizing committee team to Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Sharif, Sergeant Tom Saiju, and moderator DTM Renosh, and our timer Toastmaster KM Thomas. Together we could conduct a very good session. Today, I think most of the clubs are having their club meeting also, so the attendance are very less today. But hopefully, Wednesday, we can get all of them back. The video of this presentation would be shared with the members for them to enjoy. The quality team is ready to clarify whatever doubt the members have regarding this particular session. With this, we have come to an end of the session 3. And I hereby adjourn session 3. Our next session 4, that is session 4, will be on 15th March 2023, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Bahrain, Iraq, and Kuwait time. See you all again on Wednesday. Good night and thank you all. Can you all switch on the camera so that we can take a photo? Whoever is left here. Yes. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, DTM Hamad Shukri and Toastmaster KM. Thank you so much.